Today I want to talk about something that's very simple to talk about, but not as simple to do. I'm talking about how your mind has to change before your habits change. I think a lot of people dive into something and struggle to stick with it, struggle with consistency because their mind hasn't changed on the matter. This is why in my coaching, I am a certified health and life coach. The life coaching, I did that because the two are intertwined. You can't have one without the other. And a lot of people try to go about health and nutrition without addressing the life portion. And part of that is negative belief systems. If you believe that you're always going to fall off the wagon, you probably will keep falling off the wagon. And it's kind of hard to break through that if you have been stuck in a negative cycle where you're falling off the wagon over and over, and you're at the point where you feel like, I am never going to be able to break this. I can't even imagine a day where I won't keep falling into these bad habits. If that's you, then there's something else that needs to be addressed. It's not just that lie. There's another lie or multiple lies. It's the way that you see yourself. It might even be your perception of love. It could be the way that you were brought up, lies that you were told, or just ways that you were brainwashed around nutrition or around yourself. It could be so many different things. It could be a traumatic event that negatively impacted your self-esteem and the way that you view the world and the way that you view yourself. It could be something that doesn't seem related and it is related. And so in my coaching, when someone falls off the wagon, I don't just talk about how to get back on the wagon in terms of health. And I just made a video about that, what to do when you fall off the wagon. And that was more of a nutrition thing. But the mental part of it is way more in depth. It's like, okay, let's talk about what led you to make that decision. Many times it's because they're in an emotional situation. I got into a fight with my mom, or I, visited my family at their house and it's a stressful thing. And my whole family's eating junk food. And they're judging me and asking so many questions about why I'm eating this way. It could be that you had a deadline at work and it was stressing you out. And that pressure made you snap. And you just wanted some dopamine. You wanted a break from reality. The reality that is too stressful for you to deal with and that you feel like you can't conquer. And so you tried to escape with food. And you ended up feeling worse. And now you're still stuck with reality, but you're feeling worse. I have been through all of those situations. And so digging into why you fell off the wagon is more important than even deciding how you're going to get back on the wagon. Because if you don't figure out why, it could likely keep happening. So I just want to encourage you guys to take a step back. Stop looking for instant gratification. Good habits are created with time. The minimum coaching that I offer for most people that I have never worked with is 90 days. That number is not random. It takes 90 days to learn a new habit. And I want people to invest in at least 90 days. And that's not just going to be nutrition, but it's going to be mindsets, the way you speak, the way you not just speaking about others, but the way you speak about yourself, the way that you think. Things like sleep hygiene, like basically basic lifestyle changes that actually play a huge role into your health and your ability to think for yourself, to handle stress, to digest your food. Like some of these things, a lot of people are not prioritizing, and they're trying to fix their health with supplements or some extreme protocol when they're not prioritizing the basics. And that was also me. I had insomnia for like 8 years. And it was really, really bad there at the end. Like I would be up for 5 days at a time. And I was trying to address that. But I was going about it all wrong. And I really thought that I had tried everything. But the answer to my health was a lot more simple than I ever thought it could be. And so I just want to encourage you guys out there. I guess this could be a part 2 of why you fall off the wagon. But this is more about fixing the mind before anything else. If you don't address the mind, it will be difficult to address the health. There are some people who can just do what they set their minds to and just kind of detach from emotions, and I think that men are a lot better at doing that. My husband is one of those people. He sets his mind to do something and it's done. It doesn't matter what it takes, he'll get it done. And for me, I am a much more emotional and sensitive being than my husband. Not saying he's insensitive, I'm just more sensitive. The other day I had an interview to do, and there were people doing our flooring, and I couldn't get to my dress, and I was feeling rushed and anxious and unprepared. Even though I had tried to be prepared, I didn't know what to expect, and so I rescheduled the interview. And my husband didn't really understand why I had to do that. For me, it was like, I am not in the mental space right now where I can sit here and conduct an interview and just not be emotional. Definitely pregnancy hormones are playing into my emotions and how sensitive I am right now, but it's just an example. So anyways, I would just encourage you to really dig deeper, give yourself space and give yourself time to think about why you make the choices that you make. Some of it just is a habit and it's hard to break. There is something called the critter brain that likes what it's used to. And so when you make changes, the critter brain kind of freaks out. So if you're someone who has struggled with binge eating or food addiction, if you start to break that habit and you stay away from those things and those habits, your critter brain will actually get uncomfortable and you'll feel uncomfortable. And you're gonna feel like, I need to go binge again because I feel uncomfortable. You have to push through that. You just have to know that is actually a biochemical process. It is normal to experience that because it's change. And same goes for relationships. When people have been in toxic relationships, they can tend to find more toxic relationships because it's what they're used to and it's what they're comfortable with. As much as it can be horrible and just really awful, it's what they're comfortable with. And it can feel really uncomfortable to be in a healthy relationship because it's what you're not used to. Same goes for nutrition. So there's just so much more than just eating different foods. And that's why I always have people to work with. You know, if it were so simple, people would just see it and do it and it would be all good. And there are some people that can do that, and there are a lot of people who it's not that simple. For me, it took a long time to do what I wanted to do. And so I just want to give you a glimmer of hope and encouragement, a lot of encouragement, to say that you are worth it. It's worth it to find someone to work with. It's worth it to dig in deeper. Maybe find a good counselor, a therapist. I highly recommend Christian-based therapy. When you go pay a psychologist or therapist who's not a Christian, personally, I am a believer, and so I don't see any value in paying someone who doesn't believe what I believe. I want their advice to be rooted in the Word of God. And so if you're a believer, highly recommend making sure it's a Christian therapist. If you don't have that, a lot of churches they offer free counseling. And so that's another resource. But having someone that you can really talk through situations with, it is so helpful. A lot of breakthroughs happen just from talking through them. And you might be amazed. And so there is power in being vulnerable. There is power in digging deeper and finding the root. Hi you guys, so my fall retreat is more than halfway booked. I know that you guys may have already heard of it. We're gonna have a dream team of special guests. We have Ken Berry, Maria Emmerich, Kelly Hogan, Neisha Berry, and Lisa Wiedemann. So we're all gonna be together. This is gonna be invaluable fellowship, breakthroughs, learning, eating the highest quality, best, most delicious meats like Billy Doe meats, North Star bison. I'm gonna be making my carnivore treats, carnivore brownies, carnivore carrot cake, carnivore ice cream. And then of course we'll have Maria with us, so she's gonna do some cooking with us. It's gonna be so awesome. For those of you who don't do sweeteners, we will be with Emily Harveau and Kelly Hogan as well. They don't do sweeteners. Lisa doesn't do sweeteners, so we're gonna have options for everyone. It's just going to be absolutely incredible. So we're in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, October 11th through 16th. This is when the fall colors are peaking. The weather is phenomenal. If you're interested, please email me directly at rebecca@tailoredketo.health. I'll send you the information. I'll send you an invoice when you're ready to pay. The only way to reserve your spot is with payment, and then you'll be locked in. I hope to see you there.